James Lucas.
Thank you very much.
So Lucas, how are you employed?
I'm a firefighter with Volusia County.
How long have you worked for Volusia County?
Approximately 7.5 years on the state.
And are you a paramedic?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a paramedic, are you authorized to dispense controlled substances?
Yes.
And are you also responsible for controlled substances that are at your station when you're on duty?
Yes.
Are you familiar with, there's a policy sitting right there on the desk. Are you familiar with this policy just generally?
Yes.
And does this detail how you are, as an on-duty paramedic at a station, how you're supposed to account for and track controlled substances in your care, custody, and control?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention specifically to, and I see you've already turned to page 3, I think, Roman numeral 4, number 7, and ask if you're familiar with that part of this directive that talks about what to do with out-of-date or expired medications.
Number 7.
Yes. See.
Yes.
Okay. In your own words, can you tell the board what, as you know, you've worked here for how long you've worked here, as long as you've worked here, what you're supposed to do with expired medications?
We pretty much waste them. We usually take some kitty litter. We used to put them down the drain in the sink, but environmental kind of didn't like that idea, so we started doing kitty litter.
Okay.
And we take the drugs and expire each one, and then another paramedic witnesses it and signs.
And is that how you have always handled expired medications?
Yes.
I'd like to approach the witness and ask if you recognize this form.
Yes.
And the board has seen a copy of this form from the previous witness. Can you just tell them, from your perspective, what does that form indicate, the top part of that, where it talks about the replacement of the lorazepam on June the 2nd?
It's just an accountability form where if an expired drug's going out, or if we administer a drug, we got proper documentation to track that drug so that you're accountable for it.
And did you sign that form on June 2nd?
Yes.
And does that form indicate that you wasted the lorazepam that was expired, 10 milligrams of lorazepam?
Yes, it does.
And did you in fact waste any lorazepam that day?
No, no.
On June the 2nd of 2010, you were on duty. Did you tell us about your encounter with Captain Rollins when he came to exchange the drugs, the lorazepam?
I heard him on the radio ask for our location, and we were on a call for a cat in a tree. And I assumed he was coming there to help us with that situation. When he arrived, they asked me to go grab my my controlled substance logs and narcotics, and I did.
Where are those kept, the narcotics? At that time, where were they kept?
That time they were kept in a hardcover, hard casing Pelican box.
Locked?
Locked on the engine. It's got to be double locked.
Okay, so you were actually on call, on scene. You were not in the station when this occurred. So what did you do after he told you to get your log and your drugs off your lorazepam off your truck?
I went and grabbed all the stuff, returned his truck, opened up the passenger side door, and was attempting to open up the narcs, and he told me to get in, close the door. And he said it was cooler, and he didn't want them to fall.
So you got into his truck with the lorazepam off of your fire truck. You got into his truck to make this exchange?
Yes.
Okay. Did you initially attempt to find a place to waste the drugs when you first?
Yeah, I was thinking about busting them in half and putting them inside of a structure container that he had on the passenger side, between my legs.
So you were going to wait?
Yeah, I was just going to snap them,
Okay.
dump them all in there.
And what did he tell you to do with them instead?
Just to throw them in there.
Full?
Yeah.
Full of the drug?
Yes.
And did you do that? Did you throw them into a container somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, it was about that size too.
Okay. What did you think that was unusual that Captain Rollins was telling you to put them in the container full rather than wasting them?
Yes, seeing as we always waste them and witness wasting them, so.
Had you ever done it the way he wanted to do and the way you did it that day? Had you ever done that before?
No, never.
Had you ever heard of anyone else collecting it that way before?
No.
Did you feel that you could question his authority or question him about why he was doing it that way?
I was hesitant, but he's a senior supervisor to me, and so I just did what I was told.
Were you uncomfortable with what he was asking you to do?
Yes, because I know that they're supposed to be disposed of, so.
Did you sign the form, that instruction form, at the direction of Captain Rollins, even though you knew it wasn't accurate?
Yes.
Did you feel that by handling the expired narcotics this way, that it was a violation of that policy that we just talked about?
Yes, I did.
After the fact, did you ever talk to another paramedic about what had happened, or did you report it, if you will, to anyone?
The following day, I called the commander and spoke to him while I was at lunch.
And what did you, generally, what did you tell him?
I told him what happened, and he told me I should have wasted him anyway, the proper way.
Even though Captain Rollins told you not to?
Correct.
Did you make a notation in your narcotics log about that as well? Do you remember?
I did
And
not.
if you don't recall?
Not that I know of.
And if you don't recall, that's fine.
Yes, that'd be the logbook that we were on that call, and Lieutenant put that in there. I told him to.
Okay, and what did he put, so the lieutenant that you were on the call with at that time, put that notation in the narcotics log?
Yes.
And what does that say?
No, station log.
I'm sorry, in the station log, what does that say?
It says, while at above call, logistics 10,
Is that Captain Rollins?
Correct.
Logistics 10, okay.
swapped and replaced. It said that he wrote out of van, but I'm sure he meant lorazepam.
Okay, okay. I don't have any other questions.
And it has the lot number and the expiration date, sorry.
That's okay. I have no other questions at this time.
Mr. Rollins, any questions?
No, thank you.
Questions from the board? All right, we'll turn you loose, and thank you for your time and testimony.
Thank you.
The next one will be quicker probably than this one, but does anybody need a break? Because